Iraqi military is launching a major offensive against ISIS to take back the town of Tikrit, Saddam Hussein's hometown. Backed by Shiite and Sunni fighters, Iraq state TV shows the military launching attacks on the outskirts of Tikrit. And as the Iraqi military steps up its fight against ISIS, the terror group is now apparently going after officials at Twitter. ISIS is reportedly targeting Twitter founder Jack Dorsey and employees for shutting down ISIS-related accounts. On one site, ISIS reportedly, quote, says, "Your war on us will cause a real war on you." In a statement, Twitter says, quote, "Your security team is investigating the veracity of these threats with relevant law enforcement officials." I'm joined now by Christopher Dickey, foreign editor for the Daily Beast, and Amber Smith, senior military advisor for Concerned Veterans for America and a combat veteran of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Thank you both for being with me. Chris, let's start with you. These apparent threats from ISIS going after Twitter. What should we make of that?
Well, I think it's the kind of thing that ISIS does all the time to get publicity. I mean, they may be irritated that their accounts get taken down, but they don't only get taken down. They get taken down by YouTube, by Facebook, because, in fact, the accounts are putting forth grotesque, violent, savage imagery and threatening a lot of people in the world. So, naturally, their reaction is, you take down our threats and we'll threaten you. But I don't think that Twitter has too many worries on that score.
Yeah, and Amber, let's talk about this new Iraqi military offensive in Tikrit. As someone who's flown combat missions in Iraq, tell us a little bit about the challenge to take back Tikrit.
Well, there's this major ground offensive going on in Tikrit right now, and Tikrit really has a strategic importance to in the fight against ISIS. It's about 80 miles north of Baghdad, and it's on the road to Mosul. So any sort of future assault we see to take back Mosul, we'll really have to see the Iraqi army and the Iraqi government gain back control of Tikrit first. So we're going to see airstrikes. We're going to see close air support from helicopters, artillery positions, and the ground forces are really surrounding the city right now to go door to door and really flush these ISIS fighters out. But it does pose some very important challenges. ISIS has been in control of Tikrit since June, so we're going to see a well-fortified city at this point.
It could be a very nasty battle for that city, and then the future holds for other cities, especially the second largest city in Iraq controlled by ISIS. That's another battle that we've got to be really concerned about. But Christopher, let's also talk about, we're learning that ISIS has released 19 of the more than 220 Syrian Christians taken hostage last week. Well, what's going on here?
They're basically releasing old men, people who wouldn't be of fighting age. I think the situation with the Christians in Syria is getting really very problematic, because not only have they been persecuted by ISIS just because they're Christians, but there's now a lot of publicity about Christian militias taking up arms against ISIS. They aren't very effective militias, but that gives ISIS an excuse to be even more savage than it usually is. What they're doing in this case is releasing men that they think are no longer of military age.
But are they targeting Christians, or it's just that they target anybody and everybody who they think is not willing to, accept ISIS and its command?
The Christians are supposed to accept ISIS in medieval Islamic terms. That is to say, they can remain in ISIS-controlled territory if they pay a special tax as Christians to their Muslim overlords, or if they convert to Islam. And if they do neither of those things, they'll be killed. So there is a special provision, if you will, for Christians, but it's as savage as everything they do at ISIS.
Yeah. And Amber, let's talk about this Jihadi John guy. We have a new picture of Mohammed Emwazi when he worked in Kuwait. Now that he's been unmasked, has he lost some of his effectiveness as this frightening terror figure?
Yeah, he has. People see him now as a human figure instead of this evil man with the black mask on that's beheading these people on these propaganda videos that they're posting on the internet and are being seen around the globe and are really that terrorizing face to ISIS. Now that he's been unmasked, people just see him as another man. And really now, instead of, in addition to just delegitimizing him and parts of ISIS, he really is now a liability to ISIS, because U.S. intelligence, British intelligence are hunting him down right now to find him. And so really ISIS is going to want to get rid of him. And, we have the best intelligence in the world, and it's only a matter of time before he's found. He can run all across Iraq and Syria and any other safe haven he attempts to find, but it's only a matter of time before he's caught and hopefully on the receiving end of a Hellfire missile.
Amber Smith and Christopher Dickey, thank you both for being with me this morning. Appreciate your time.